Brenda Hess. I'd like to call this meeting to order. It's our regular City Commission meeting, City of Buchanan, Michigan. It's Monday, August 13th, 2018. It's now 7 o'clock p.m. I'd like everyone to rise and join us in saying the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. For the invocation this evening, we are joined by Pastor Edwin Brinklow. Pastor Edwin?
Pray with me, please. Holy and loving God, thank you so much for your servants before us who have answered the call of service to lead this community of Buchanan, Michigan. And we ask your presence and blessing upon their meeting this evening. Please grant them creativity, that spirit, your wisdom, the power of love for your people, and just be with them in all their discussions and whatever decisions that are made. May it all be for your glory. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Edwin. Clerk, can we have roll call, please?
Commissioners Bianski,
Yes.
Turney,
Here.
Moore,
Present.
Cole,
Here.
and Mayor Hess.
Here.
You have a quorum.
And with that, I need to move to approve the consent calendar, please.
Public comments.
Oh, I'm sorry, public comments, already skipped something, okay. Citizens are allowed up to 3 minutes to discuss any agenda item. Please approach the microphone, and don't forget to tell us your name as well as your address. Anyone? All right, and with that, we'll move on to the consent calendar. I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
I will second. What?
Commissioner Viganski?
I want to move the checks off of the consent calendar, the sign off the consent calendar, and I'd like to discuss the amended budget for the signs. I'd like to have it off the consent calendar too, please.
Okay,
Item D, item
F and item I.
F and I.
Sorry.
and we'll move those to items to new business, correct?
Just,
You said
well, no, just
Commissioner
below
Dan?
consent
Oh, right
calendar.
after, okay, right after.
You said item F, Dan?
D, F, and I.
D, F, and I.
Okay.
I'll move to approve the amended consent calendar.
Okay, I need a second, please.
I'll support.
Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Cole,
Yes.
Commissioner Viganski,
Yes.
Commissioner Moore,
Yes.
Commissioner Turney,
Yes.
Mayor Hess.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, and with that, we'll move to item,
Oh, you have to start talking about these.
okay, yeah, we need to talk about item D, approved checks dated 8/13/18, 77,301 to 77,454 in the amount of $3 million, $3,046,654.34. Expenditure amount is only $250,345.14, but the tax disbursement amount is $2,796,309.20. Commissioner Viganski, what are your questions?
Well, I called earlier today and I never got any response, but I called and asked about check number 77320,
Which would be,
$4,865.89 to Big C Lumber.
okay,
And Consumers Concrete for $494. That's check number 77346.
okay,
And then I want to ask to forgive check number 77336 in the amount of $666.67 to the city by the DDA. These other two, I just want an explanation
all right.
as to what they were for.
Okay,
And
what was
if
the
there
first, what was the first check number? I'm sorry, it took me a minute to find mine.
77320.
Okay,
It's for $4,865.
okay, and then the next one?
Is 77346 for $494 to Consumers Concrete. And then the last one, you got to go back, separate, that's the DDA 77336 for $666.67, and I'm asking to forgive that check again, which I'm going to do every month.
Okay, what information do we have about check 77320 to Big C Lumber? Could you help us with that?
Yes, it's one of two things we're doing on our Commons product, it's taking, and I believe that's what it was for. I was, have to see what line item came out of, to be sure. But, we're buying the smart siding that's going on the Commons building at this point. And, we just made another purchase actually today, for the remaining parts to, put the smart siding on that building. I believe that's what it's for.
Okay,
The other purchase that was through the Big C Lumber was the stage that Yes Company Boyfriend played on, but I don't think it was that one. I have to see what line item came out.
okay. All right, and then what about check 77346 Consumers Concrete? Do you know anything about that, JP?
That was for, there was a sinkhole found over in the park, in the pond park right off North Red Bud Trail. And the way we shorted that, we shorted up with some hydraulic cement initially, and then we had to backfill it with concrete. There was a small amount left over that we actually concreted a solid that we needed. And the driver, which was Rick Wessner, said there was enough in there, so we started a ramp out of the cemetery for the rest of it. We didn't get all the way done, but at least we got some, so we were able to use it all.
Okay, thank you.
There's one more check, Your Honor, I'm sorry.
Okay, which one would you like to have?
The cement, I really wasn't, I underlined it because I wanted to know, but $3,850 for an appraisal.
What was the number? I'm sorry.
It's 77419. It's an appraisal for 401, which is our wonderful corner at Red Bud and 4th Street. Now, it says appraisal, and I mean, I did call and ask about these checks, and I never did get a call back, Deborah.
The office, I'm sorry.
It would have helped if I would have got a call back, but, you know, is that for an actual appraisal, or was that for Whitman doing,
Where's that?
or was this part of the survey? Do you know?
Matt Green is here. I think he can help you, or I can help you. This is part of the, I'll start, and then correct me if I'm incorrect, please. This is part of the intersection improvement. We needed to have an appraisal of the property per MDOT requirements. It's a special type of an appraisal that MDOT requires, and so these are the reimbursement for that.
$3,800 for an appraisal, for a property appraisal?
Yes.
We really need to start thinking about what we're doing before we spend this kind of money.
I believe that this cost also, though, can be reimbursed by MDOT. Am I correct in that? It's my understanding, yes, because it's per their requirement that we need to go through this.
Well, you know what I think of the state getting your money back from them.
All right, well, I need a motion to, do you have all your questions answered?
No, actually, I asked to forgive that check for $666.
Yes. Commissioner Moore?
My motion is that the commission pay all of the named checks through these items, including not forgetting the DDA. So,
Okay, I need a second then.
I'll support.
Okay, roll call, please.
Mayor Hess,
Yes.
Commissioner Cole,
Yes.
Commissioner Turney,
Yes.
Commissioner
Yes.
Vivianski.
Yes.
All right, and with that, we'll move on to item number 6. Oops.
I suggest.
Okay.
She wasn't quite done.
Okay, sorry. We'll move on to item number 6, reports by departments, committees, and boards. First, we'll be hearing from the,
Wait. He just was talking about this. He hasn't talked about the traffic order.
oh, yes, I'm sorry, we need to move on to F. We need to talk about the traffic order number 252, deaf child at play signs. Commissioner Viganski?
Well, we got a letter in our packet, but I thought with all the signs that we've been doing, that there was procedure that we're supposed to follow as far as at least putting it to the commission and letting it be known in the public and voting on it separately. Tell me if I'm wrong. I don't necessarily disagree with deaf child signs, but is the taxpayer paying 100% of this bill? Is signs going to be bought by the people on that street? You know, is the city going to put the signs in? Or, you know, I mean, it's just a matter of questions that should be asked. And I know everybody goes, oh, deaf child, but I mean, everybody has their problems, and I sympathize. I really seriously sympathize. But this is about rules that should be followed, and I'm just trying to ask to see if these rules are being followed down there.
Okay, so your question, you're not opposed to the sign, you're just wanting to know if that should have been put in a different area of the agenda,
Did
correct?
you know about it before Friday night? I didn't.
No, I did not. Okay, all right.
You know, and I mean, we've put up a lot of new signs, and For the truck signs, it was almost a 4-month ordeal. The school no parking signs has been a 6-month ordeal. And we get this on Friday, and we don't even get to talk about it. We just put it in the consent calendar.
Okay, Officer Ganis, can you help us with this a minute? Sure. Would you like to share what you know? Thank you.
We received a phone call, or actually it's an email, referenced the father to this child. It was asking about putting up the Deaf Child at Play sign. So at that point, I wrote a letter to City Manager Chief Marks saying this was a request. We also ended up typing up just a traffic control order so everyone could review that. And obviously, it's up to your decision. We're just writing a letter saying this is the request, this is what the traffic control order would look like. Now it's in your hands to make that decision.
How does this work as far as consent calendar? Do you know?
He's out of order.
Hang on just a second, Commissioner Moore.
So in your opinion, all the rules of the process was complied with, and it didn't deviate from any of the other ways that we handle these
And my
traffic signs?
process was done the same that I do all the traffic orders.
Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Baginski.
Thank you.
None of the rest of them have been put in a consent calendar like this. They've always been put on new business. Now, my question to the clerk is, am I wrong on that? Or is this the first step to putting these signs up?
If you request for me to not put traffic orders under the consent, I can make that.
Well,
note
I'm
and
just
all
going
that.
by what we've
This-
done before.
Ever since I've been here, I have been putting traffic orders under consent per the city manager.
Commissioner Moore?
For general information, what goes on the consent calendar are typically what items are deemed to be not controversial and not really needing an in-depth discussion here.
Correct.
So, obviously, there was nothing unusual about this request, and the process was the same as all of the other processes. So that's why the city opted to put it in the consent calendar, so we would not have to discuss every one of these little items that are non-controversial and
Well,
take
you know,
up
I'm
a
going
lot
to go
of
ahead and look
time.
like an idiot. Excuse me, Your Honor. I'll
Yes.
look like an idiot. My question is not about things that are not controversial get put on this consent calendar by Bill Marks all the time. So what the commissioner's saying, I'm not trying to be controversial on this. I just want to know if this is the way, you've only been here since May. You haven't we had the parking signs before you, I believe. And I think it came up as a discussion from, I'm just looking for some consistency here. And I really don't care particularly about the sign one way or the other. I just want the consistency. And what I want to know is if we allow this and vote on this on the consent calendar, are the signs going to be up tomorrow or next week without it coming to the commission? And I'm not saying you've done the wrong thing. That's not my point. You did what you needed to do. But what I'm asking is if we say yes to this on the consent calendar now, is the money going to get spent? Have the signs been bought? And are they going to get put up without it coming to the commission again?
I'm going to make a motion.
The traffic order being under the consent calendar is coming to the commission.
Right.
So this is it coming to the commission.
So if we vote yes now, these signs are authorized to go up?
No, you took it off the consent calendar, so we have to vote on it separately right now.
That's my whole point.
Okay.
Right,
That's my whole point.
Mayor,
Yes. Commissioner
I'd like to make a motion that we go forward and put this Deaf Child at Play sign up. I think it's part of our duty to do it immediately and get it done with. This child needs that protection, and that's what we're here for, is to protect our citizens and the kids.
Okay, I'll take a second.
I'll second that.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Moore,
Yes.
Mayor Hess,
Yes.
Commissioner Turney,
Yes.
Commissioner Viancy.
I'm going to vote no because nothing was explained, and, right away Carla wants to jump on a
Okay.
safety
Hang on a
bandwagon.
minute. You can talk to Bill, just talk to Bill, call him tomorrow.
And
Okay,
Commissioner Cole.
Yes.
Motion carries.
thank you. And then we'll move to my item I, approve a budget amendment for welcome signs in the previously approved amount of $15,616.
My question on this was, we was talking about these signs extensively, and wasn't there room in the budget? And this would be directly at you, Dale. Didn't we have money in the budget that we don't have to amend the budget on this?
I can't answer. All I know is we discussed it, and we were approving that amount of money.
I mean,
back in
I
March.
agree to the signs, I like the signs,
Right.
but the whole point is this says approved budget amendment, which means there's no money in the budget right now for these signs.
Apparently, that's what,
So we're writing a budget, and then
Right.
whenever we do something, we're just amending the budget to spend more money.
well, this all happened after the budget meeting.
But it had been brought up, and it's been
It's
brought
been,
up.
it's been brought up several years, and it was brought up at the budget meeting, and we just didn't, gentleman who put the signs up is here tonight.
I know.
And then,
But that's still not my point. It's just like the sign was not my point. But I will make the motion to approve the budget amendment for $15,616.
Okay, I need a second,
I will
please.
second that.
Okay, thank you. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Moore,
Yes.
Commissioner Cole, Commissioner Cole,
Yes.
Commissioner Bianski,
Yes.
Commissioner Turney,
yes,
and Mayor Hess.
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you.
You're welcome.
And we've already approved these consent calendars. So moving on to item number 6, reports by departments, committees, and boards. This evening, we'll be hearing from Lions Club member Jerry Flenner. He's going to talk about the canoe and kayak poker run. Come on up, Jerry.
On Saturday, we had our first annual kayak run. The weather was perfect. We ended up with 38 kayakers and canoes. We probably would have had another 20, but in our planning, we forgot that it was fair check-in day. So I know we lost about 20 kayakers due to check-in at the fair. Everyone that participated had a great time. A few comments, they actually want us to do a color run in the fall, in October, when the color's on, and so we're going to get together one day next week and discuss what went right and what went wrong with this one, and hopefully plan a fall color run. The other comment they had was it was a tad bit too long. It was 8 miles, and one of the neighbors, where we got out of the water down at the Taylors, which is almost at the end of Lake Chapin, told us about there's a community just past the 31 bridge that has their own public access. To get out of the water at Taylor's, there was 23 steps to carry the kayaks up, and a few of us were a little tired. This place has 0 steps. I have already talked to the group that lives there, and they're going to take a vote of their residents, and the guy that I talked to was pretty sure he would allow us to get out of the water there, which will shorten the trip up by about 2 miles. So all in all, I think it was a huge success. Thank you to JT and his group for getting down to the park and doing a lot of road construction. I will say to the commission that you really need to look at that road. There were some cars that they were afraid to go through there. They thought they were going to break their axles if they had trailers and stuff. So there are some gigantic, I won't even say potholes. They're as big as that wall right there. I know that it's spring-fed, so it's really hard to maintain that road, but you might even have to tear up the asphalt and just go with crushed rock or something, I don't know. But something probably needs to be done with that road in the future.
Okay.
As long as you just said Lions Club, can I go on to another one?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. In September, the Lions Club is going to have their first ever corn and sausage roast. We hope to build on the success of the Boy Scouts. It will be at the Senior Center, Saturday, September 8th.
Thank you.
I have extra copies if anyone in the audience would like them. $10. We're also going to have a silent auction. So if you have anything in your garage or whatever that you'd like to donate to the Lions Club, we would be most grateful for that. And I believe that's it. Any
Okay.
questions?
Any questions? Go ahead, Commissioner Viganski.
Did everybody get to the river? I mean, did everybody go down there that wanted to go down there, or did you have to shuttle people back and forth, Jerry?
So everybody made all 8 miles.
No, I know, but I mean, did they all get down in their cars or trucks?
Yes, yes.
So you had plenty of parking down there?
Yes, we did.
So
Yeah,
there
we
wasn't a
had, we
shuttle
had,
problem?
we had plenty of parking. We probably could have parked another 20? 20. We also had great help from Dial-A-Ride. When we were planning this event, we were actually going to haul kayaks from Bering Springs back to Buchanan. And some of the serious kayakers said to us, "You're not going to haul my kayak." So we talked to Bill Marks. Bill Marks got a hold of Dial-A-Ride, and we transported people back, and then the people went down and got their own kayaks. So it probably, from a liability stand on our end, was much better anyhow. So thank you to Dial-A-Ride for what they did. It was a great event. And again, I think we're going to do a color run. So if you have a kayak and would like to participate, see us in the future.
Great.
Any other questions? Alice, any comments? Alice was one that was going to lose her car, so.
Oh, Jerry, you're not quite done yet. Can you come back up a second?
Anything else?
Jerry doesn't know this is a surprise, so if you didn't know, Jerry recently received the United Way of Southwest Michigan's Margaret B. Upton Volunteer Leadership Award. And as part of that, we thought, since Jerry is one of our Buchanan's own, we would also like to honor you this evening. So I'm just going to read a little something, and we can give Jerry a round of applause at the end. Jerry Flinner of Buchanan started his legendary life of volunteerism with the Buchanan Galeen Lions Club seemingly a lifetime ago. It was that humble beginning and a family tradition of taking time to care about the community in which you live that led to an ever-increasing workload on behalf of other nonprofit organizations that moved the judges to select Flinner as the winner of the 2018 Margaret B. Upton Volunteer Leadership Award. Flinner joked that he worked for companies willing to allow him time to volunteer just so long as it didn't interfere with the 60 hours a week they already had me working on the job. I feel you on
That was
that one.
true, though.
Yeah, right?
Wasn't a joke.
Right. Flinner's amazing track record of leadership and volunteerism paved the way for his victories from among a field of 3 nominees. The Margaret B. Upton Volunteer Leadership Award is presented to one volunteer in Berrien County who demonstrates a long-standing history of volunteer contributions, diversity of volunteer experience with multiple organizations, and teamwork and leadership experience. Flinner will receive $3,500 from the Upton Foundation to donate to the nonprofit organization of his choice. And here's just a short list of Jerry's contributions in the world of volunteering. He's been the Buchanan Area Chamber of Commerce current president of board 16 years. Buchanan Galeen Lions Club current president of board for 37 years. Buchanan Community School Board of Education 13 years. Buchanan Promise Board, new to the volunteering position there this year, 1 year. Friends of McCoy Creek Trail Board 8 years. Buck Teens Class Reunion Board, current president of the board, 12 years. Buchanan Community School Farm Board, 30 years. Buchanan Little League coach, 8 years, and other numerous volunteer activities. So on behalf of the city of Buchanan, Jerry, I would like to honor you with this certificate. Thank you so much. And we want to come over here. I guess there's a photo op. It is always an honor as the mayor to recognize outstanding achievement by people from our community. Thank you again, Jerry. And with that, we're going on to, yes.
When Edwin was here, he was supposed to hand out his faith and family flyers.
Oh,
I didn't make it here in time.
okay. Yes, go right ahead. I'm going to keep moving, okay? All right, and with that, we're going to move on to reports by departments, committees, and boards, and we're on the second one. We're going to hear from the Buchanan Area Recreation Board, and we're going to hear this evening, tonight, from Ashley Hansen, the new president of the board. Hi, Ashley, welcome.
Hello. All right, so I'm from the Buchanan Area Rec Board, Ashley Hansen. The newest addition to our Buchanan Park system is the Field of Dreams Dog Park, which everyone, dogs and their owners, are really enjoying the new park. And I would like to say thank you to everyone that was involved, these 2 ladies right here, 2 of them, Ms. Moore and Ms. Cole. And I can't wait to see all the things that are going to come from this, from the dog park. Have fun at Buchanan Parks has had another great summer. This was summer number 4, and we had almost 800 visitors. This year, the Bookmobile visited the park every Monday, which was a great connection all around. We had a fundraiser using the Redbud Tree manhole cover to print T-shirts, which made $350, and it funded everything that we did this summer. We also have plans on having another farmers market day where we're making tote bags with the same manhole cover. The community youth garden has had its best year yet. The kids have eaten and liked salads, pickles, zucchini bread, and herb-infused water. We're hoping that some produce can be used to go in the fair again, and anything that's left over will be donated to RAM. We are still having some minimal vandalism in the gardens despite the new signs, so we're hoping the next year we can have a better plan to reduce or hopefully eliminate these issues. The road that Jerry was talking about, I believe, for North River Park, is that the road you were talking about? Actually, Bethany Cohen, the newest addition to Barb, is currently addressing the road commission about continuing problems on Redbud Trail that's continually washing out the road to North River Park. So hopefully this problem can get addressed, so any further efforts to fix the park will not be a waste. The park board is also working on a new playground equipment, 3 parks to start with, Catherine, Victory, and Ravish parks. The plans are to build wooden playground structures implemented in phases, and the project will be funded using accumulated funds from Thrill on the Hills, as well as applying for grants, asking businesses and organizations to sponsor certain aspects, and as well as a fundraiser at Lehman's that's coming in September, actually the weekend after the Lions Club. So much in this town wants to give back that there's always something going on. Have Fun would actually like to give back to the parks by purchasing 3 tribute trees from the Tree Board's tree program. We think that shade is just as important in our parks as new equipment. These trees will be in honor of some amazing people who have had an impact on kids and/or parks in our community. We'll be getting 3 trees, 1 to honor Mel Ravish, 1 to honor Ruth and Wayne Ryder, and 1 to honor Sheila Tournay. They've all done wonderful things in our community, and we felt like we needed to give back a little bit for them in our parks. We're also working on geocache birdhouses that will be located throughout the park system. Geocaching is a recreational activity of hunting for and finding hidden objects by means of GPS coordinates, and it's another way to get people to visit our parks that might not have any other reason. Also, this is a side note, but I'm on the Make a Difference Buchanan board, and we're looking for project ideas, so if any of you guys have any ideas, you can get in touch with us at Make a Difference on Facebook.
Great. Does anyone have any questions? Commissioner Attorney has one.
I just want to thank you for remembering my wife, as she was very instrumental in turning that park around, and I will inform her of that tonight. I'm sure
I
she'll be.
absolutely know that she was very instrumental in doing a
Yeah.
lot, and that the work that she had already done, we will be using her information that she provided for us for our.
You can call her at any time. She'd be more than happy to fill you in if you got any missing blanks or information. She's very, very thorough.
Okay. And all the notes that she have are very thorough. So.
You bet.
Any other questions
Thank
or
you.
comments? Oh, all right. Thank you,
Very good
Ashley.
report.
All right. And with that, this evening we'll be hearing from Southeast Berrien County Landfill. Tyler Gaines will be joining us this evening. Tyler?
Thank you, Tyler.
Thank you, Tyler.
All right. Thank you for letting me come and present the report to you. What I have here is kind of a brief overview of the landfill, focusing on some of the design aspects, just kind of for general knowledge, as well as some of the services we provide, such as roll-off, as well as our recycling center that we have there for the residents of the 5 municipalities. In addition to those items, I listed kind of the upcoming and current projects that we're working on out at the landfill. Currently, we're working on upgrading our sequencing batch reactor, which is a pretreatment method for the landfill leachate, which we do send to the city of Buchanan. Ultimately, what this is going to allow us to do is to increase the holding capacity as far as the leachate, which is leachate is essentially the rainwater and all of the liquid that's inside of the landfill. We have to pull that out and treat it before then the city of Buchanan does the final treatment process and discharges it. So with the additional holding capacity as well as just the ability to treat better with a higher quality and a higher quantity of water as we continue to expand our life, we're beginning to generate more leachate. And with that being said, it allows us to, currently we're about 30,000 gallons per day. As far as getting our peak treatment, it's going to allow us to do 90,000. So it's going to be a great impact to the landfill to be able to treat, as well as to help out the city of Buchanan to get higher quality of treatment. Some of the other projects that are kind of more upcoming projects is the landfill is working on focusing on longevity of the landfill, specifically for the residents of the 5 municipalities, trying to make sure that we can be a service as long as possible. And then also we're reviewing some alternative energies. So currently at the landfill, we have a gas energy plant that we use a third-party contractor. We take the methane gas, which is inside the landfill, and we extract it and turn it into electricity. So there's a few options that we're just kind of exploring currently, but that'll be kind of for a later date. I did attach my business card. Feel free to call me if you have any questions or concerns. We do some community outreach programs as well. We're very involved with the school district here in Buchanan. They do right around Earth Day. They come out for nearly a full week, one class every day. We give tours of our recycling center. So with that being said, if anyone has any questions.
Okay, Commissioner Turney?
I'm going to, Tyler, I'll probably get together with you because I've kind of taken over for Carla, so we have to set up an appointment for a tour.
Sure.
So if I give you a call
Yeah,
Wednesday and Thursday,
Absolutely.
and
Yep.
fly's bothering you.
I know.
So I'll give you a buzz and set up a tour.
Okay, Commissioner Cole?
Tyler, do you want to touch on, I'm sure the people see that they're around Ryan Nearson and in front of the landfill, they see there's some work being done. You want to explain what that is for?
Yeah, absolutely. So the work that's being done, as you see on Ryan Anderson, it's a force main. We're upsizing our force main and we're doing a directional drill rather than an open cut trench. And what that is essentially it's just a machine that's burrowing through the ground and it's pulling a 4-inch pipe behind it, and that's going to be welded and put in place. And ultimately, that is in place for the leachate to be sent to the city of Buchanan.
Okay. Any other questions? Commissioner Viganski?
Seagulls.
Yes, sir.
I drive the circle. The landfill at Waterville Elite has already got the permit for the shotgun. So, I mean, I don't know how expensive the national license is, but they'd be more than willing to share with you, because I'm sure they're not using the gun. Because I guess under the license, you have to have one gun, one shell, you know. With the federal government, I'm sure it's really screwed up. But they do have the gun, they have the license. You can use the gun under their license
Oh, okay.
to kill seagulls or scare them off.
Mm-hmm.
Been a lot of complaints about bird crap, and I guess it's a protected bird. I
Yeah.
suggested a wing fry or, I don't know.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah, that's it. It's very difficult to do anything as far as endangering them because they are a protected species. So I know we did a little bit of review ourselves on different deterrent methods. You know, and first it sounds like you have to start with a non-lethal. If that is proven to not work, then you're able to go to a lethal deterrent as long as you can provide support that you've had property damage or any type of effect to your business, and that would allow you to be subject to.
See, that's not, that landfill up there is privately held. And I went on a tour with them guys because I delivered up to the regular.
Okay.
So, I mean, that would be, as far as the gun and the license, they would speak your language, they would know exactly
Sure.
what you're asking, and they're not gonna steer you wrong on
Yeah.
that. Is the stench gonna be gone for a while now, or, because it was really bad for a while?
Yeah, there for a while. We had, we're always expanding, we're always upgrading our gas collection system. I think the time that you're speaking about was right at the peak point of shortly before we did put in a new gas, and it was probably February of not last year, but the year before. Right?
It's
Or
been
maybe it
more
was
recent,
last
but it
year.
made your eyes
More
water.
recent. Okay. But yeah, that's kind of it. We're always expanding. We're always expanding our gas collection system, trying to extract as much of that methane and, the odor, what have you, that you smell.
We used to televise the meetings out there.
Mm-hmm.
The city of Buchanan paid for that. I have asked several times, I was very adamant about it stopping when it stopped, because I think it only cost the city $30.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any possibility of doing that again?
That would be something that I could bring up to the board chair.
I've asked
Yeah.
both JT and Carla to bring it up, so I don't know if it's been brought up or not, but
Okay.
I'm asking you directly, please.
Okay, Commissioner Moore, what's your question?
I just want to make a comment to you that in speaking to many, many people as I do, not one person has made a complaint about seagulls. Just so you know, it's not a generally held feeling that the seagulls are a threat to the citizens.
Okay, anyone else? All right, thank you, Tyler, for coming in and explaining everything to us. We really appreciate it. And we have your business card, so if we have any further questions, we'll get a hold of you. Thank you very much for
Perfect.
joining us.
Thank you.
Yep,
Thank you, sir.
All right, and with that, we're going to move on to item number 7, unfinished business. Letter A, there's going to be a second reading and approval of ordinance 2018.08/408 to rezone 509 Reinierson. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Deborah Patzer. She's going to be doing the second reading and answering any further questions we may have.
Thank you, Mayor. When we had the first reading, I had a horrible cold, so I'm happy to step up here and see if I can do this. This is ordinance number 2018-08/408. It's an amendment to the zoning ordinance official map, City of Buchanan, County of Berry, and State of Michigan. An ordinance to amend the zoning ordinance of the City of Buchanan and the official zoning map. The City of Buchanan ordains, Section 1, the zoning ordinance of the City of Buchanan, being ordinance number 154, Section 302, as amended, and its official map is hereby amended as follows. The property commonly known as 509 Reinierson Street and legally described as, and I quote, commencing 769.17 feet south, 89 degrees 50 minutes east of the northwest corner of Section 36, Township 7 South, Range 18 West, thence south 89 degrees 50 minutes east, 293 feet, then south 0 degrees 19 minutes west, 34 feet, thence north 89 degrees 50 minutes 30 seconds west, 79.9 feet, thence south 0 degrees 8 minutes 30 seconds west, 33.8 feet, thence, this is a little bit of a tongue twister, south 89 degrees 50 minutes 30 degrees east, 71.85 feet, thence south 0 degrees 19 minutes west, 266.2 feet, thence north 65 degrees 45 minutes west, thence 419 feet, thence north 29 degrees 10 minutes east, 186.45 feet to place of beginning, being tax parcel ID number 11-58-00360-0254-06-2. End quote. Now zone C2 Commercial District to be rezoned to R1A and R1B Single Family Residential District. Section 2. The zoning administrator is hereby directed to amend the official zoning map of the City of Buchanan to reflect the above change and duly note on said official zoning map said change pursuant to this ordinance. Section 3. This ordinance shall become effective August 28, 2018, and published in accordance with the Charter of the City of Buchanan, adopted the 13th day of August, 2018.
Does anyone have any questions? Okay, I need a motion.
I'll move to approve the ordinance.
Okay.
I'll support.
Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Cole?
Yes.
Commissioner Bianski?
Yes.
Commissioner Moore?
Yes.
Commissioner Turney?
Yes.
Mayor Hess?
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you, Deborah. All right, with that, we're moving on to item 8, new business. We're going to hear from Assistant Police Chief Tim Gaines, and he's going to introduce our new Police Department Administrator.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to introduce our new administrative secretary at the police department. As you know, Pam served 30 great years here with the city of Buchanan for the police department. But we have been so blessed to have someone step into her roles, into the job that she did, and she's done such a great job just in the short time that we've had her here. So with that, I'd like to bring her forward, let her give you a little spill about herself. At this time, I'd like to introduce our new administrative assistant, Diana Sealer.
Welcome, Diana. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. I apologize about my voice. I was at Cedar Point over the weekend, and I left it on one of the rides. So, my name is Diana Sealer. I have been in administrative roles pretty much my entire working career. The last 5 years, I was an administrative assistant for the City of New Buffalo Police Department. So, I do bring some experience with me. I'm supported today here with my husband and my daughter. And I know while I was working the Thrill over the weekend that you celebrated your anniversary.
Yes.
So congratulations, Mayor, on that. And I worked the Thrill on the Hill, and I've also was involved with the National Night Out. So I've enjoyed my time here so far, and I'm looking to end my career here, so to speak. So thank you for having me, and I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor? Yes.
I just want to say welcome and thank you for jumping in with both feet, right after you come in here. I understand that you're Pam's identical twin practically. So we say welcome to you because Pam did a great job and you have some big shoes to fill. So
I have heard that,
But
and I
we-
commonly introduce myself as the new Pam, so I hope I live up to those expectations.
You have so far, so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and with that, we're going to move on to item B, Resolution 2018.8/173, Dial-A-Ride Millage Renewal, and our clerk, Dina, will be reading the resolution.
Okay, you had this resolution in your packet. It's Resolution 2018.8173, a resolution to renew the Dial-A-Ride millage for 4 consecutive years, being 2019 through 2022. Whereas the Dial-A-Ride transportation system, commonly known as Dial-A-Ride, provides a necessary service to the citizens of the City of Buchanan, and whereas the City of Buchanan has entered into an intergovernmental agreement with Berrien County using their third-party operator, Transportation Management Incorporated, to operate the city's Dial-A-Ride program, which has been proven successful during the past years, and whereas a Dial-A-Ride millage renewal is necessary to meet the local share portion of the annual operating budget, and whereas the city is authorized to ask voters to renew a previously authorized millage. Now therefore be it resolved by the Buchanan City Commission to place this proposal on the November 6, 2018 general election ballot to read as follows. Shall the City of Buchanan continue to levy a total of 1 mil on the taxable value of all taxable property in the City of Buchanan, which is equal to $1 per each $1,000 of taxable value for the purpose of providing public transportation, including the operation of the Dial-A-Ride bus system, more properly known as a Dial-A-Ride transportation system, for a period of 4 consecutive years to be levied in 2019, 2020, 2021, and 2022. The amount of revenue generated in the first year of the levy, which is 2019, will be approximately $86,920. The proposed millage is a renewal of a previously authorized millage.
All right, thank you very much. And with that, I need a motion to adopt this resolution.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, and I need a second.
I'll support.
Okay.
Okay, roll call, please. I know, it's rough, isn't it?
Mayor Hess,
Yes.
Commissioner Bianski,
Yes.
Commissioner Cole,
Yes.
Commissioner Turney,
Yes.
Commissioner Moore,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And for item C, we're going to hear from our resident expert of the Dial-A-Ride, Kim O'Haver, and she's going to talk about the Dial-A-Ride budget amendment. Kim?
I did that on purpose tonight, you know.
Oh, and I appreciate that, sir. Thank you so much. It's good to be here with all of you this evening. Before I talk about the budget amendment, I just want to give you some quick facts. We're talking about renewing a millage here. And I want to let you know what Dial-A-Ride does. We are going to turn 44 years old later this year. We are one of the oldest transit systems in the state. As far as I know, we are still the smallest, but Dowagiac is not far behind. In July of 2014, we provided our 375,000th ride, and I thought, I'm going to update that. So through the end of July, we have now provided 408,442 rides in our history. Roughly 2/3 of those rides are for seniors and for those with disabilities. So it's a very important service to all of them. And our average ridership over the past 4 years has been over 8,000 trips a year. So I just wanted you to know that. Now, with regard to the budget amendment, MDOT came out earlier this summer and said we are going to reduce the amount of state match for your 2019 budget. They're not reducing it a whole lot, but it's going to make a dent of $1,532 in our budget. I am concerned because 2 years ago we passed a transportation bill, and we expected that percentage to go up. We were hoping to get something in the mid-40s as far as state match goes. So I find this curious. I'm on the board of the Michigan Public Transit Association, and I asked the chair of the MDOT Relations Committee to please find out why this percentage went down. Did someone else raise their budget just hugely, and so that means the slice of pie left for all the rest of us is smaller? What's happening here? we just felt like we should be getting more state match. So I'm hoping that I will get some kind of an answer somehow. We don't know what that will be. But I was looking over the original budget, and I saw a few other things that caught my attention. Gas prices have gone up, and it's really hard when you're putting the budget together almost a year ahead of time to know what gas prices are going to do. I would like to raise that line item up a bit just to be more realistic. And then the audit cost, I had budgeted $300 less than it actually cost in 2018. So it probably makes sense to bring that 2019 figure up to match the 2018 figure. So altogether, we are projecting an operating loss of $5,961. It was originally $3,329. It's not a huge amount. We do have $112,000 plus in the Dial-A-Ride operating fund. So if you do have an operating shortfall some year, that rainy day fund is there that we can take from and use those funds if we need to. We haven't had to do that for quite some time. I try to aim a little high on the budgets so that when we come to the end of the year, it's a nice surprise and we can go, oh, we didn't go over budget. Isn't that good? But when things like gas prices go up, you just kind of never know. And then when the state cuts back, you never know. So I gave you these materials, and I'm requesting that you will approve the amending of the budget. And I will get that filed with MDOT if you do approve this change. Are there any questions?
I think I ask you every time, excuse me.
Yeah. Commissioner
I think I ask
Vacancy?
you every time. It's due tomorrow, right?
Friday?
So is there any way that we could, I mean, and I ask this every time because I shut you down my very first vote. I stopped Dial-A-Ride, if you remember, right?
Oh, yes.
And it was kind of an oh moment.
Yeah.
So, I mean, waiting till, and I asked this because I know it's accepted by the government and everybody thinks the government can't do anything. And I'm doing my little bit to try to change that because I don't like not getting answers. I don't like our fees being raised and not getting money. So could you, like do it 3 weeks ahead of time, the next time we do it, so that it's not the day after or just say yeah and I'll feel better.
Sure.
Thank you.
They don't always give us a lot of advance notice
I know.
ourselves.
I know. I think
And
I ask you
so
every time.
it was kind of a scramble.
Okay.
So many times we'll get something and, we need to know by next week. And it's like, oh my goodness. So it's just, that's kind of how things go. But I will do my best.
Get out the vote and throw the bums out that are in office now. That's all I can say.
Okay. Anyone else? Questions for Kim? All right, I need a
I'll
motion.
make the motion, Your Honor, to approve the DAR budget amendment.
All right. I need a second. Thank you. And a roll call, please.
Mayor Hess,
Yes.
Commissioner Bianski,
Yes.
Commissioner Turney,
Yes.
Commissioner Moore,
Yes.
Commissioner Cole,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you, and thank you for coming in this evening. It's always a
Thank you all.
pleasure.
It's good to
Thank
see
you,
all
Kim.
of you. Thank you.
All right, and with that, we'll move on to item D, approve the purchase and budget amendment for traffic speed signs. And this evening, we'll be hearing again from Assistant Chief Tim Gaines. Come on up, Tim.
In your package, you saw some information reference, some radar speed signs. We had the opportunity to be notified that these radar speed signs were available at this price. Actually, I believe there was a sale that was going on. There was an actual savings. What these radar speed signs are, they're actual portable radar signs that we can put up in different locations, different neighborhoods. If we have a complaint about speeders, we can take these signs up, we can put them out. In the package, there's 2 of them, so we could catch vehicles going either way. What the nice thing with these signs are, number one, there's going to give you your speed that you're going in. And everyone's been through a community where they've got the big trailers out there and everything, and those are very expensive. But these will do the same thing. They will tell you what your speed is. We can program the message that's underneath that we want to put out there. If it's over a certain amount of speed, we can tell them to slow down. If they are doing the speed limit, we can tell them, thank you. So with that said, the next best thing that I like about these signs are we can capture data from these signs. So as we put them up, we can take them down, we can take them to our computer, download the information so we know what's been going on in that neighborhood. So then at that point, we can put our resources in when we need them. So that's what I thought was very nice about these radar speed signs, is that they're going to give us this data so we can come back and keep an eye on that neighborhood or street.
Okay, questions? Commissioner Cole?
Can we start at the high school?
We can start wherever you want. I know there's been a big demand of people saying, I like to see them here and here. And that's what's nice about these. These are portable. We can put them up. They're battery operated. They come with an extra set of batteries. So it's not solar power. So when we have those cloudy days in wintertime, they will not charge up. These will. We can put the batteries on them, then switch them out, and we can. That's what's so nice about them. We can put them anywhere. If there's an existing pole, telephone pole, we can put them there. I haven't talked to JT, but they can make a nice pole from DPW to do that too.
Okay, great. Anyone else? Commissioner Viganski?
I wish you'd put all this stuff in spam and just hit the erase button, because I don't think it's necessary. It's not in the budget. As a professional driver, when you see one of them, you just, well, that's the speed I'm going. I don't really feel it's going to slow anything down. I think it's an extremely unnecessary expense. I'm very much opposed to it.
Okay. All right. Anyone else? Yes, Commissioner Attorney?
Well, I'm actually in agreement with Dan on this. I don't see the necessity for this particular item. I mean, I think the extra money that we're spending this can go to something else, so I'm basically going to vote no on that.
Okay. Commissioner Cole?
I just wanted to say, I think it's a great idea, because I know when I come across them, whether it's Buchanan, Niles, South Bend, wherever, first thing I do is check my speed, make sure I'm at the right speed and I'm not traveling too fast. So I think it's a great idea, and I think it will slow things down a little bit and keep everyone safe.
Okay, and my comment is I get lots of complaints about speeders in the downtown area, and if this can help in increased enforcement in our downtown, I'm all for it. So with that, I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Okay, Commissioner Moore has made the motion. I need a second.
I'll support.
Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Cole?
Yes.
Commissioner Attorney?
No.
Commissioner Moore?
Yes.
Mayor Hess?
Yes.
Commissioner Bianski?
No.
3-2, motion carries.
All right, and with that, this evening, we will be hearing on item F from J.T. Ackerson to approve a quote. We're going to discuss the retaining wall repair.
Regarding the retaining wall that we're talking about here, is located just off the business end of Front and Oak Street. It runs the mill race. It's just a little bit west of the mill race. I know if you guys have been back there, you've seen it. It's kind of caving in and falling. It's been going on for a couple of years now. I know the city manager's been working on this project personally, and I got tagged with it at the later ends of it. He's been seeking different contractors. He's even taken the recommendation of a business owner downtown, and I don't know who that was, of a particular contractor that may be able to make those repairs. We reached out to them and some other ones that just don't have time for it or want to get involved with it. We did reach one of our local contractors, BG Construction, Bill Green, who gave us a quote on that, and I think it's a very good quote. That information should have been in your packets, and tonight we would be asking for that approval. If it's approved, I'll notify Bill Green, and he's anticipating starting somewhere around mid-October.
When and if this is approved, will the business owners be notified of when it will start? So because they're operating their businesses,
Right.
and it might interfere with their parking, or, is that going to be?
It will. Reading the quotes, some of that cutback is going to interfere. Usually my method of contacting business owners through the DDA has been Deb. She's always had the contacts there, so we email, give them updates, and I'm sure that they'll be more than willing to help us out with parking there.
Okay. Questions? Commissioner Viganski?
Why does he refuse to not put a street address on his paperwork with us? I've asked him this every time. I am not doing business with a post office box. I don't care how well I know him.
Okay.
I am not doing business with a post office box.
Okay, Commissioner Attorney?
No, I was just pointing.
Okay.
Commissioner Fernansky.
Okay, anyone else have questions? Yes, Commissioner Moore?
I'll make the motion that we approve the quote to BG Construction in the amount of $9,320.
Okay,
I'll second.
thank you. Roll call, please. Thank you.
Commissioner Turney,
Yes.
Commissioner Moore,
Yes.
Commissioner Bianski,
No.
Mayor Hess,
Yes,
and Commissioner Cole.
Yes.
Motion carries.
thank you. And that will move on to approve the purchase of the plow truck, which was budgeted with a quote from, oh, good grief, Kinstel Sterling. Okay, and, oh, I'm sorry, JT, I guess I need you again. Thank you.
I had my quote here as well. This has been ongoing for prior to even our budget talks, with the deterioration of our plow trucks and us trying to become more efficient with our trucks. It was what we requested, is at least I and the city manager, was to order 2 of these. The commission approved in the budget for 1 of these, which is a budgeted item. Again, this started way back several months ago when 2 of our team members went to the truck show in Indianapolis. There we looked at several different chassis and several different builds and just what other communities are doing. I also reached out to the Berrien County Road Department and some of our neighbors in the city of Niles and Berrien Springs to see what they're doing as well, what chassis they're using. The chassis that came back as a preference to our mechanically inclined employees was the Western Star. It's a Sterling. The preference was there. It was a solid frame. It was coated to prevent rust. A lot of these are used out on the East Coast and very heavy snow. What we really liked about this chassis was the continuing frame. Most frames are 2-part frames in these plow trucks, and this has one continuous frame, which should give us the strength that we need when we plow our snow. Part of that, each truck chassis, the second part of that is the build itself. Each chassis and the ones that we found have particular builders that work on just their chassis, or just a couple different builders that do that. Kaleida is also quoted on this quote. They were right next to, and I don't remember who the other one was, it was so long ago, but we settled on Kaleida more for the time limits. In fact, under no commitment of mine or the city of Buchanan, the salesperson I was working with, knowing that there was going to be tariffs of the metal and these parts that's going to build these chassis, he ordered this 6 months ago. Under no commitment to us, he just felt like, we were going to buy it from him, so he ordered it. He called and he says that he has our chassis. Actually, he ordered 2. He says he has them both committed for, unless we want them. We were on a time frame to have those, or get this in front of you, because he had to move them out, if you will. What's really good news is this chassis and build could be available to us yet this year. Way back when, we were talking about ordering it now and getting it a year later. The build on this is a belly plow. It's a little bigger than our current belly plows. There's also a side wing blade, a dump box, a battery disconnect, and some live hydraulics on the front end. We'd be asking tonight that we go ahead and approve this. I can make notification to the salesperson that we want this unit. If not, he's going to move it, and our price of this unit's going to go up.
Okay, questions? Commissioner Attorney?
I noticed here in the letter, it says standard warranties apply. I'm not too familiar with, large trucks. What is the standard warranty? Do
It's
you know?
usually 5 to 6 years.
Is that
They provided a build with this, and it's a 32-page document that I don't have in front of me with that as well. But, I had all of my mechanics look it over to make sure we haven't missed anything prior to getting it to you, or ordering it prior to getting it to you, so.
Okay.
Yes. I believe, I think it was in the notes because of the tariffs going up. What's the additional cost if we don't?
Minimum, he said, would be $5,000.
I thought, yeah.
He's looking more around $6,000 would be the number if we waited.
Okay. Commissioner Baganski?
This makes me so mad I want to spit. You knew about the bucket truck before the budget. We bought the bucket truck outside of the budget. We didn't have air brakes for the bucket truck. And now you're going to spend another $200,000 and you're going to stand there and tell us it's in budget. If he was there, he'd say it was in budget. We bought one truck. Now, the bucket truck went to crap because it hadn't been inspected forever. It's out of business for 10 years. JT, I am so mad I could spit. I do not think that in any way, shape, or form.
All right.
Blaming it, now wait a minute.
You got to
Blaming
calm
the
down.
tariffs. You want me to make a question out of this?
I want you to calm down.
You want me
That's
to make a
all.
question
This
out
is
of
a
this?
city employee. He does not
I'd
need
like
to
for
be
you to make a
grilled.
question
Thank
out of
you.
it. I don't need that. I don't need to know how you feel. Just make a vote and ask me your question.
No, I think you do need to know
I don't
how
need to
I
know how you feel.
I
No, I
really
don't.
do think you need to know
Well,
how I
I'm telling
feel.
you I
You're
don't.
spending another $250,000
Then vote
of
no.
taxpayers' dollars.
Vote no.
Okay, I need a motion.
Your Honor.
Yes.
I'd like to make the motion that we approve the purchase of the plow truck, which has been budgeted, and the quote, I believe, from Kensel Sterling in the amount of $178,044.
Okay, I need a second, please.
I'll support.
Okay, supported by Commissioner Cole. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Cole?
Yes.
Commissioner Moore?
Yes.
Commissioner Turney?
Yes.
Commissioner Bianski?
No.
Mayor Hess?
Yes.
Motion
Thank you.
carries.
All right, and with that, we're up to public comment. Citizens are allowed up to 3 minutes to discuss a non-agenda item. Please don't forget to say your name as well as your address.
I'm Alan Robot, 114 East Front Street. I am speaking to you about Virginia Reed's lease for part of the Russ Anders house. The city has quite a history of picking economic winners and losers. Lehman's received $135,000 in the write-down from the purchase price of the property originally. You spent $50,000 buying and tearing down Neal's. We're still sort of wondering about that. You did the construction for the escape room at the expense of the city's taxpayers. And I understand they didn't pay rent for 10 months and you paid all of their utilities. I would ask that for an established business like Virginia's that's been here for 27 years, 40 years?
40 years, I think.
That you would step up and cover the cost of the plumbing and the carpeting that was ripped out for replacing those things to be able to get Virginia up and running as quickly as possible. The other aspect of this is that she serves the community social function of taking care of many of the elderly women in town, for whom many this is their once a week, once a month outing out of their houses, and it's a very, very important community service. And I would like to see the city step up and make an investment in this business. Certainly, there's precedent for the city to put money into the private sector and other people's businesses. Thank you.
Thank you.
Address 304 North Oak. You have been speaking tonight about signs. There are many more signs that need to be replaced. Parking signs. You're going to be inviting people into this community for another thrill on the hill, and you'll make a big deal out of it. Let's get our signs cleaned up.
Okay, thank you, Norma. Okay, and with that, we'll close public comments. We'll move on to city manager's comments. City Manager Marks is out of town this evening, and we will be hearing from Deborah Patzer.
Thank you, Mayor Hess. Following up on Alan's comments, I do have a draft of a commercial lease agreement. This says draft 2 because I did make some changes that the chief had commented on. He's currently out of the office this week. I want to present this to you, and I will do that. City manager is in the process of gathering your comments on the lease. Virginia has not seen it yet. I just saw it this afternoon and made some minor changes. So with that being said, I will distribute this draft to you and have you, if you will, please look at it. Get back with the chief, or if you want to direct your comments to me, we'll make sure that they're all taken into consideration as we continue to move forward on this project.
And then Deborah, when would we need to have our comments to the city manager? And would we be having a special meeting to approve this? Yeah, sorry.
I know the chief would like to have them as quickly as possible. I know that Virginia is anxious to know, to see it and to know, what are going to be her next steps. So I would say if you could take a look or even provide your comments back by the end of the week, then we can move forward.
Okay, great. All right, thank you. Any other comments from the city manager this evening?
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you. And with that, we'll go to commissioner comments. We'll start in the end with Commissioner Cole.
Okay. First off, I guess I want to say to Cameron Downey, he's in the process of painting the building that he bought downtown. He's painted it a beautiful light green and using white for trimming, and it looks fantastic, and I love it. I love the shade of the green. The dog park did well at the Thrill, and we also got to visit with Meadow, who's quite famous here in town. He stopped by our tent, and we got to talk to Meadow and do some petting. And I want to wish the best of luck to all of our kids from Buchanan, and best of luck at the county fair, which is going on as of this weekend.
That's it. Great. Commissioner Moore?
Well, I just also wanted to say thank you for everyone, all the city workers, for putting on a very good Thrill on the Hill again. It was very successful. Everyone had a great time. Very few incidents that I heard of, and people were very happy. And also, I want to say good luck to the fairgoers.
Thank you. Commissioner Turney?
Thank you, Your Honor. Just a couple comments. Deborah, I had sent Bill an email earlier in the week. I didn't know he was on vacation, but we had discussed earlier about $350 supposed to come out of the Thrill, but he had said it's going to be coming out of a different fund so that the garden club doesn't have to incur the expense for Christmas greens for the uptown.
Okay.
And I think it would be strongly nice, I encourage it, to call Liz Miller, the president of the garden club, so they don't have to worry about that expense, because their budget is very limited. So that's why I discussed that. So maybe if you could do that, I would greatly appreciate that.
Could you send that email to me?
Yeah, I can do that. I'm working tonight, so I have plenty of time.
Yeah, well, that way I will misspeak, but yes, I would be happy to contact Liz. Thank you.
My only other comment, the Thrill on the Hill, this was terrific. In fact, I had 18 members of my own family partake this year, and they all were very happy and thrilled about it. And I tried to get all of the city workers to thank you guys for taking the time and doing this. I don't think I got to them all, so I just want to put a big thank you to all people who put in their time and effort to make this such a very successful Thrill. So I just want to say thank you to all the city people and workers, and I'm hoping next year will be just as great. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you. Commissioner Viganski?
First and foremost, I want to say thank you to you, Cindy, for coming up last Thursday. Thank you to the mayor. She bought a wonderful gift for the funeral. The wife loves the pot. Everybody down here signed the card, even though I'm the curmudgeon. I do thank for the sympathy. I don't apologize for growling at JT. This whole fiasco is just that, and we're all part of it. I have the right to speak that, whether you're an employee or not. You're going to hear my opinion, and you're probably going to hear it more, because we just spent another $250,000 that was unnecessary. Was it or not? And that's all I got to say.
Okay.
Thanks. Virginia, one question?
Oh, can you catch her after the meeting?
Okay, we can do
Yeah.
that.
And with that, I just wanted to thank everyone who has put forth effort on the city's behalf, volunteer behalf, for making this summer really fun in Buchanan. If you check the city Facebook page at all, there's always something going on, whether it be a concert, an event. There's just so many things to do, and those things don't happen by accident. That is, well-coordinated efforts between volunteer groups. The BARB does an outstanding job. The people on the BARB do an outstanding job. Our city workers do a great job, helping and supporting things going on in the city. And as summer winds down, I'd just like to thank everyone who came out and supported city events and spent time with their families and really enjoyed all the little fun things that really do make Buchanan a better place to live. I know, I follow a lot of Facebook pages for other communities, and we really do offer some unique events and fun things to do for families that other places do not offer their citizens. So I want to thank citizens for coming and for everybody that helped make this summer one of the greatest ones so far. So thank you. And with that, I'd like a motion to adjourn. No support. Okay, I'll take a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Thank you. And thank you all for coming. What a nice crowd this